Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Chelsea, you know that, I know that. I'm just a lady with a bulldog, a camera, and too many opinions. Or am I a documentary filmmaker? Am I? Apparently I am, according to Angela Sumner. That's right, the Monat witch is back. The woman who referred to me as a satanic rat. Which still, she ate with that.
Will the rats come out?
I have not even thought about Angela Sumner in quite some time. Thank God. That deep dive took a lot out of me. But if you don't know who she is or want a little bit of a recap, let's go over just a few things. And I will have my deep dives of her linked down below and the playlist that I have of the entire, Monat witch saga as well. Angela was in Monat, and most people refer to her as the Monat witch because that's how she landed on a lot of YouTube channels. She said some pretty unhinged in her trainings.
And skin lizards and skin coyotes and put bones back together and write poetry.
But prior to that, she ran her own cult and her coaching business, quote unquote. And allegedly she told people that she could read their minds, that she could talk to God, that she was God.
Of Angela, of not even Angela, the nameless connection to the God that I am.
She also put period blood on her face and frequently posted that on social media. And she posted a lot of medical misinformation, not only about worldwide pandemics, about vaccines, about pregnancy, but just everything in general. And I could go on and on. And I did actually. So like I said, I'll have that linked down below. But more towards her Monat saga, right? Or her Monat era, if you will, because there are a lot of eras of Angela Sumner. It's wild. So it seems that Angela wasn't able, I say it seems, but this is what happened. So she was able to become pretty high ranking within Monat pretty quickly. She was able to recruit so many people pretty quickly. And when that happens, a lot of times it is hard to maintain that rank and that success. And it seems like that happened to her as well. So she had all the success, getting all these accolades and praises and all that and awards. And then from there, wasn't able to keep it up and was losing people, was losing ranks. And it seems like was not making that much money in Monat anymore. So she stayed in Monat at that time. But however, she was kind of pivoting to pushing a master resale rights course instead. And apparently sources have told me that she made a lot of money doing that. And it seems like that's kind of her cycle. She'll right away when she starts a new, pivots to a new grift, she'll make a whole lot of money right away and then won't be able to maintain it, which is quite interesting. So from there, she was pushing that courses to sell courses to sell courses, that type of thing. And then she also around that same time made the transition, she'd probably hate me saying that word, but then she made the transition over from being a Bernie Sanders loving witch to then a witch that loved Trump to then not being a witch and being more about Jesus. And then now she's a biblical Christian is what she keeps calling herself. And that's pretty spooky. So unfortunately for her, she had joined the MLM olive tree people. And if you are apparently above a certain rank within Monat, you can't be even enrolled in another MLM. They said that this had always been in their terms of service, whatever, but I feel like it was an excuse for them to fire a bunch of market partners, their salespeople, who were about to leave or slowly try to make the transition over to this new MLM that had started, olive tree people, that a lot of people were doing a mass exodus from Monat to go over there. So Angela had been fired from Monat, which is really funny because she went online and was like, I was drafting up an email to quit this morning. And then they fired me. And it's yeah, sure, girl. It's giving I was actually going to break up with you first. So, okay. So then she joined Olive Tree People and ranked up pretty quickly, but then went private, went silent. It was pretty strange. And what's interesting is that around this time, that's when I had released my first video about her because it was in 2 parts. So she went from, going private to then being silent to then deleting her account. Then no one really heard anything from her at all. And then she just went back and forth from private to public to private. And it was quite strange. But a lot of people were speculating that she was trying to evade a custody battle or something with her child's father. I don't know if there's any truth to that. If so, that's really sad. But it does look like now she's not doing the nomad life anymore, which is awesome. Love that for her. And it looks like she's living with her mom, which, hey, I'm sure your mom loves being a part of her granddaughter's life. I love that for you. That's wonderful. And plus they got chickens and it looks like a big house. That's great. I love it. Now, Angela did come back to social media months ago, and I noticed and was like, okay. Hadn't really even thought about her since my last interaction with her, which was in November of last year. And to be honest, I had completely forgotten how this went down. And it's hilarious because she was lying. She was lying and I proved her wrong and then she blocked me. So let's throw it back to Chelsea from last year. My hair was extremely damaged from postpartum hair loss and all that. And I was just trying my best to like slick it back and make something work. So she posted this reel that said, my biggest flex is that I have entire subreddit threads devoted to hating me and a really bad documentary about me. And her caption says, I don't care club president and CEO. Sounds like you care. And she said, I haven't read them or seen it because I can already tell you that they know that much. Literally nothing about who I am in Christ. It doesn't matter if I don't know who you are. But I said, girl, it's a YouTube deep dive, not a documentary. You ain't that special. Calm down. Then I put source. I made it. And Angela commented and said, a deep dive with laughing faces. I don't know why that's funny. How many conversations have you had with me? You okay? Never spoken to me one time. Unhinged is the least. Learn how to finish a sentence. Also, everyone who saw it turned it off after 1 minute because of how bad it was. Documentary or deep dive, it was no good. And of course, I got a corrector and I said, I emailed you twice for a statement/interview and you never answered me, buddy. It has an average audience retention rate of about 70% per YouTube analytics. And she continued and said, I'm happy to talk to you on video, contract with 0 editing. Let's play with a kissy face. But you weren't okay with that before. Like, girl, what you talking about? And I said, you love sharing false info, huh? And she said, send the screenshot. Through a comment section? You clearly don't know how social media works. Also, hey, I have posted those screenshots before. And I did it in this reel that I made that I'm going through now. Again, I emailed her twice to her normal email address and to her assistant one that's linked in her bio. And I sent her an email asking her questions like I do for anyone who I do a deep dive video on. And I got no response. I emailed her twice. I believe it was April 21st. And guess how she responded? She blocked me. So Angela, how are we supposed to play with a kissy face? If you want to make out with me, Angela, just say that. How are we supposed to play? How are we supposed to do an interview? How are we supposed to schedule something if you blocked me? How are we supposed to do that? So I'm sure you're wondering, Chelsea, why are we here now? Why are we talking about this again? What's going on? She's posting rage bait, which she says it's not rage bait on her new Instagram. But, you know, Angela has said before that she is like not a marketing genius, but like she's so good at the internet and so good at blah, 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 and just knows so much about marketing and all that. And it's like, girl, then why do you keep rebranding constantly and making different Instagram accounts? What are you doing? That's not a good thing to do from a marketing standpoint. Starting over all the time, every time you decide that you're a different person, that's exhausting. Either way though, Angela now has a new username, a new Instagram account, and it is Angela Doesn't Care Anymore. And it looks like her posts that she says are not rage bait because she thinks that rage bait is gross. So it's like, oh, so you do believe all of this that you're saying. It's not technically part of a grift. Either way, it is. I mean, with all of this, she has grown a little bit on this account. She's 20,000 followers on this Instagram page, and it says, Angela Sumner, your 40 plus bestie. I help women set themselves free. From a biblical Christian. Interesting. Okay. I help women set themselves free. Witch to Jesus. So you were a witch. Now you are Jesus. Oh, okay. OG biohacker. I don't think putting period blood on your face is being a biohacker. 7-figure coach. New homesteader. Love the new homesteader. So cute. My niche is everything. That's not a niche. DM for collabs. Angela's the type of person that would get the like scam DMs or emails that literally almost every single content creator gets, and she thinks they're real. And she's like, I have so many brands reaching out to me. Angela, do you? I doubt that very much. But like I said, she's posting content about being a biblical Christian. And from what I have seen, it really seems like these types of Instagram reels are the only ones that perform well. If something performs well, doesn't mean that it's going to be received well. So rage bait is working in her favor. However, her engagement still on like her other content isn't that great. And it's just so strange because it really seems like on her Instagram story, she's like, oh my gosh, I'm growing so much, like blah, blah, blah. And it really just seems delusional. I don't know. It's very interesting though. So looking back through her content, I was like, all right, what else has she been posting since like the beginning of summer? And I came across this post and I was like, that's interesting. Keep in mind the last interaction that her and I had, which was what? 9 months ago, or at the point that she posted this, it would have been 9-ish months ago, right? And this post is her feeding the chickens. Love it. That chicken coop is what my dreams are made of. I love that for you, Angela. And I'm not being facetious. Like, that's awesome. I love that. I've always thought that this is where she should go, inside of a chicken coop. Anyways, so here's how I stopped stressing about haters and started using them to go viral and make money. It's interesting though, because it's like you haven't gone viral. And also that makes it sound like you're going viral from views, which you're not. Unless she has like some TikTok account that gets so many views, because TikTok pays you off of views and Instagram does not. I guarantee you she's not one of the very select few creators who are getting money from Reels on Instagram. She might be on Facebook, but I highly doubt that. Either way, she could just be meaning that like it's marketing, so it's making me money. And it's like, yeah, but the people who are engaging with it then and are seeing it, it's not being pushed out to the people who like you and who would buy into your course and your bullshit. So like, you know. Okay, so this is from July 20th and it says, about 9 months ago, I was in one of the darkest places of my life. Some random girl, I am a woman, I'm not a little girl, I've never met, decided to make a documentary about my former new age life. Don't bother looking it up. It'll be the biggest waste of your time. It was about you as a whole, babe. It wasn't just about your former new age life. It was about everything. All of it. The Monat of it, the olive tree people, all of it. And I was relentlessly harassed online. I'm going to stop you right there. Just, may I? Angela, y'all know I love this. So you're saying that you're being harassed online due to what I put out there, but all that I put out there was literally your own actions and your history and things that you had previously posted. So you're mad that I subjected you to like a new audience maybe, or like that? I will never understand that shit. I didn't do the thing. I just talked about it. You did the thing that people are mad about. Be mad at yourself. And she said I probably deserved it, which, hey, you did. I had lived quite the life, colorful life prior to Christ. Nonetheless, the bullying was out of control and my nervous system was shot after also quitting my job, closing my businesses, and way more I won't bother going into. I was just done. I got off social media. I planned to never get back on ever. So when God urged me to get back on, I was like, are you crazy? No. God is not urging you to be on social media. For weeks, I ignored him, thinking he'd change his mind. Notice the capital and all those H's. But God doesn't stutter. But then the hate started after a reel went viral and I laughed. I laughed, y'all, because God literally set a table for me in the presence of my enemies. He was like, laugh, Angela, I got you. So I started responding to comments that were clearly from demons with emojis, and to the comments that were people questioning me and the HS, Holy Spirit. Is that what that is? And the high school urged me that they wanted more info. I responded, I won't engage with your behavior, but if you want to DM me about God in private, I will answer. And y'all, they did. Doubt it. I doubt anyone did that. God is too good. Just listen to him, because I'm over here laughing at demons, being a disciple for Christ, and having brands want to collab with me. What brands, girl? I have not seen any disclosed ads. So does Jesus and does God or the Flying Spaghetti Monster, whoever, do they not abide by the FTC? Do you not have to abide by that? Because I literally have not seen any. So that's really cool. I cannot understand why a lot of people like this who experience, some could say, spiritual psychosis or just an ego trip regarding like spirituality or religion will just always post like the enemy is after me, the devil, the demons, and blah, blah, blah. Or like marriage is so hard, you got to fight every day. Or like my enemies want to see. I have never thought about an enemy. An enemy? I have when I've watched Finding Nemo or when I catch them in Animal Crossing. I literally have never thought about like, wow, my enemy's out to get me. Who is your enemy? I've literally never thought of that. And you can have a relationship with God, with Jesus, with whatever higher power or nobody. It doesn't matter. And like I do, I pray quite often. I go to church sometimes, but it's like, I don't hear voices. She's hearing voices. It's so delusional. Now that was a super smooth transition. I have not seen you in so long. It's Uncle Reggie. I don't know if you could tell because my mullet's growing out. There's something else you probably don't know either, and that is that the internet is trying to get inside your brain and tell you what to think, and that's not okay. But more than half of Americans are getting their information, their news, from the social medias. According to that Reuters Institute, people no longer trust institutions, they trust personalities. Well, I'm a personality and I trust ground news. But listen, I get it. The institutions have failed us in so many ways. But instead of just wanting them to do better, what do? Turn to that Joe Rogan fella? Just look at these headlines. His 2024 interview with Donald Trump was literally credited for winning him that their election. People have no idea they being influenced when they think they're being informed. Now that's why Ground News is my go-to platform for the news, to be able to compare these stories, the headlines, the truth, the biases, the fact check. And why I love that Chelsea put them on their channel. She got me set up with that Vantage plan. And let me tell you one more thing. I just, nothing.
Get back under the desk.
Okay, I'm sorry. Think about what I said. Think about it. I'm so sorry, guys. He told you about Ground News? Okay, I guess I'll at least just keep telling you about it. I don't know. So Ground News has obviously helped me with that guy, clearly, but I definitely do love knowing where information that I'm reading is coming from. I always say consider the source, and obviously I do mean that, not literally sometimes. I do be hyperbolic. But obviously, I mean that literally too. If you don't know where your information is coming from and just believe it willy-nilly and not understand biases and things like that and who's profiting and benefiting from you believing certain information, you're just going to end up looking silly. And I don't want that for you. I want you to be educated and know all sides of everything, okay? Even if you don't agree with it. Ground News was founded by a female former NASA engineer who saw a much bigger problem here on Earth instead of focusing on, whatever is going on in space or aliens or something like that. And so the only app out there helping you think for yourself and see all sides, gathering articles from thousands of sources around the world, organizing them by story, and then analyzing the political lean, credibility, and even those financial incentives, like I just mentioned, behind each perspective. Y'all know I love when you think critically and logically and all that. You can be silly and goofy too, but when it comes to taking in information, that's obviously more important, okay? Follow your favorite topics, even check out their blind spot feed so you can see, hey, maybe I'm missing a key factor of this topic, of this story. So make sure you go to ground.news/cc or click the link in my description box to sign up for the plan that I use every day and the one that I got Uncle Reggie started with too. And you'll save 40% on their Vantage plan. Like I said, that's the one I use, and that is ground.news/cc. And that knocks down the cost to just $5 a month. Thank you, Ground News, for being a continued sponsor of my channel. Thank you to you guys for continuing to support my sponsors. And now back to the video. So Angela, a lot of y'all sent me this, has decided to start talking about the documentary again. And she posted this reel. I don't even know when this reel was from, but she posted it on her Instagram story and said, this one's been blowing up a lot lately, which her blowing up is getting like 200 extra followers in a day. And it's like, okay, calm down, lady. And the reel says, when they made a documentary about me to try to ruin my life, but they actually got me brand deals and brought more people to Christ. Again, Angela, where are your brand deals? Because I'm not seeing any disclosed ads. I will look again, actually right now. We will look again and see where in the hell these brand deals are. The only one that I see that says anything about an ad is this kind of promo for this company called From the Lobby. And I don't even know what that is. Helping creators connect with their favorite brands. Okay, so got it. I used to use a site like that. So on this one reel, she says, you don't have to post on your own page. User-generated content is real money, y'all, which it can be, but it's typically a lot lower than it would be if you're actually, well, not typically, it is always going to be much, much lower than what it would be if you were posting to a bigger audience. Anyways, I do like that she's saying, like, I don't gatekeep. What I do is I reach out to these brands and send them a message and, give them like a little blurb about me. I usually only do paid collaborations with brands I am familiar with and regularly use, but I'm currently open to discussing if I've never tried you before, blah, blah, blah. So it's just weird that she keeps saying I'm getting brand deals, but doing user generated content, which is like, I would film myself putting this on or something. And then the company would then take that and use it on their, like, you're filming footage for them, basically. It's user generated footage, right? And it comes off more relatable, more real, stuff like that, right? Okay. That's not a brand deal though. That's user generated content. So she's making it sound like she's some like super successful content creator when I don't see a disclosed ad on your account at all. And also, literally anyone can do user-generated content because it depends on the quality of the content. It doesn't have anything to do with your actual page, your following, things like that. So you going viral and getting really good engagement for the what could be perceived as rage bait content that you're posting has nothing to do with you getting paid to do user-generated content for certain brands, which I would love to see it. Why don't you repost it? Why don't you repost some of this user-generated content that you've done? Just post it. Just do it, girl. I don't see it, but I could be wrong. Also, they made a documentary about me to try to ruin my life. I was not trying to ruin your life. I was simply making an entertaining deep dive, not a documentary, about someone who has had so many eras and lived so many lives on the internet and who presents themselves as a public figure. So I'm just doing my job, just like you say you're doing yours. So she said, also, this one's been blowing up lately, and I don't know why, but I think she took the documentary, thank you for putting it in quotations because it's not a documentary, down. You couldn't just look. All of my Angela Sumner videos are still up. None of them have been taken down. None of them. So not sure why she would have said that. Angela does this constantly, just posting shit that it's like, you could literally just look it up and you're wrong. And it's so easy to disprove what you're saying. Like, that's crazy. And she says it was all lies. I also don't believe that either. I did not intentionally or maliciously lie or make anything up. Everything that was not a verifiable fact was either shared directly from her own mouth or from her own info, or was alleged to me by people that I had interviewed. I interviewed so many people for that. I call it a project, but for that deep dive, it was rough. So rough because it was all lies, was not all lies. Also, you said you never watched it, so how would you know what was in it? B, she realized she's making me money, so I'm making you money. Put a pin in that for a minute. Meanwhile, she wasted time. I had a great time. It was very exhausting. Didn't waste time. Made no money, and I could easily sue her, but it's not worth my time. Make it make sense. Angela, I'm happy you want me to make it make sense. I can't, but I can show you facts. So you said that I was making you money. Again, we'll get back to that in a minute. But you said that I wasted my time. Did not. You said I made no money. So I will give you this. I did not have ad reads on either of those videos because a lot of times with these types of deep dive videos, if I think that the person will possibly somehow get it taken down, which now that's not really a concern of mine. I will do this. But at this point, it was May and then August. That's a long time. Good God, Chelsea. So it was May and then August when I did part 2. During that time, I was actually signed with another management company, and the way that we would do ad reads, it's not like the ones we do now where I can just film the ad read, they edit it, they send it over for approval to the brand, and then it's already approved, and then I can put it on whatever video I want. That's not how we did things, unfortunately, with the last management company I had. And so I was like, this is going to take way too long, and so I'm not going to be able to absolutely guarantee that it's going to be done by a certain day. So obviously with a video with over 200,000 views, of course I would have loved to have an ad read on that. Either way though, that's irrelevant. I didn't have ad reads on it, so I would have made more money on it. However, still, the part 1 got over $900 in ad revenue just from views and engagement. And the second one got $872 in ad revenue, from views. So I did make money on it. Also, those videos did bring more people to my channel, which is great. New eyes are always great. So again, you're wrong there because I did make money on it. And then she says, I could easily sue her, but that's not worth my time. You can. Anyone can sue anyone. However, for the last year or so, since I have been covering you, you have said so many times that haters, someone who made a documentary about you, me, literally anybody who talks not positively about you or exposes anything you do, has made you more money. So that right there would potentially ruin any chance you have for a defamation or libel case against me, because I'm sure you're not aware from all the you've said with defamation against a public figure, which you do present yourself as a public figure, which you could argue that you're not. Either way, there are certain things that you do have to prove. And one of the most important being that whatever I said, whatever content I specifically, you have to trace that back to me, directly caused you a loss of some monetary amount, whether it's canceled contracts or clients not wanting to work with you anymore, things like that. But also that's if and only if you're also able to prove that everything that I said was false and that I knew it was false and that I stated it as a fact, which I didn't do that. And that I had malicious intent, which I don't want bad things to happen to you. I want great things to happen to you. You know how fucking excited I was when I saw that you live with your mom and that you got chickens? There's a little video of her mom like cuddling with her daughter, and that made me so happy. I love that for her. That's amazing. I don't like you and the shit you put out on the internet and this ego you have. However, I do want good things for you. I want good things for everyone. I don't want you to be a scammer. I don't want you to be in potentially spiritual psychosis. And from what I'm seeing, it kind of looks like that's happening. But you know, not a monster as much as, you know, you think I'm a demon or what was it? A satanic rat? Rats are super smart. Okay. And also Angela, Ange, may I call you Ange? It sounds so weird calling her Angela. That's my oldest brother's girlfriend's name. Anyways, so Angie, Angethy. That feels right. Angethy, you would think that after, 2 to 3 years of me covering your content on my YouTube channel sporadically, but that you would know that engaging with me in any way, even a DM, even a subliminal, even subtweeting me on an Instagram story is going to mean that I'm going to make more content. So you bet your ass if there was a lawsuit that I would be making so much content about it. Y'all would be so sick of me if you already aren't. And then from that, it would bring more attention to the documentary that you don't want anyone to look up because it's a waste of their time and all lies. If it was actually all lies, you probably would have sued me. If it was all lies, you should have sued me. Absolutely. If someone else posts a shit ton of lies about you, yeah, I'm on your side, girl. I'll share that GoFundMe link, all right? To help with your legal fees for this hypothetical situation I've made up in my head. So anyways, that's what's going on with Angethy, with Angelica. Did I just call her Angelica? Her name's not Angelica, it's Angela. What? Am I okay? No. With Angela doesn't care anymore. Sounds like she still cares. But she's posting all about being a biblical Christian, but also saying that you don't have to dress modestly and you can show your shoulders. I will give her this. I like that. I do also stay with me. She almost had me for a second because she posted something about spanking and I was like, if she lays a hand on that little girl, that perfect little jelly bean, I swear to God, I'm not going to do anything about it, but oh my God. I'll be sad. She posted something that I actually love that she was like, I don't spank my kid for the same reason that I don't hit adults. It's assault. And you're right. I never thought I'd be agreeing with Angela Sumner, but here we are. And I love that. And that honestly surprised me. But then again, Angela has always been someone who, she doesn't fit into a box. And if you try to put her in a box, bitch, she's gonna fight her way out. But she's very much so on the fringe. I don't want to say she's a pick me, but it is giving very much so I'm not like other biblical Christians. She does call her past self a slut, which is girl, you sounds like you just had fun. Don't be mean to yourself. What are you doing? Why am I sticking up for your past self more than you are? What's going on? Girl, I had my hoe days. Yeehaw, bitches. I got down. It was so much fun. Who cares? Be safe, have fun. And you know what? If you have shame about that, hey, go to therapy. It all happened. You can't change it. As Rafiki says, you can't change the past, but you can learn from it. I clearly have a toddler. Okay. I wish Angela well. I do think that she's delusional and that she's possibly experiencing some spiritual psychosis. Check on your friends, please. If they start posting things that they're in love with their psychiatrist, that they not only talk to God, talking to God's fine. Great. Baby girl, I do it all the time. But when you're doing that and then hearing or seeing an answer back, that's not Jesus. That's spiritual psychosis. Yikes. But hey, it happens to a lot of people. And also with ChatGPT and stuff like that too. It's unfortunately more prevalent these days, which is terrifying. All right, I'm done. I gotta go. I got to eat lunch and then film my podcast episode with Sherilyn Dale. I have a podcast called the Here for the Clout podcast. Did you know? Oh my God, can't wait. So go over there, subscribe to that. If you have not subscribed to me, you're dead to me. But also, please do subscribe to the Here for the Clout podcast. I really want us to hit 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year. It would mean absolutely so much to me. We are silly and goofy over there. We cover random shit from the internet and from pop culture that hey, do you need to know about it? No. Do you want to know know about it? Probably not, bitch. Are you going to forget about it after you stop listening? Yeah, probably. But are you going to have a great time while you're there? I sure as hell hope so. Anyways, also Sherilyn and I like can't speak or read or write a lot of the time, and it's hilarious. We mispronounce words all the time, and it is so funny. Sherilyn tried to say myriad. It was great. It was so great. All right. I'll see you in my next video. Goodbye.